It all began on the 16th of February. 166 games later, just 2 teams remain. It's the Betfred Super League Grand Final.
These are the men we have come to see. And Wigan look like they're heading to Old Trafford.
Catalan Dragons have won this semi-final in the most dramatic of fashion.
Here's Jake Field into the line. Electric pace for Marshall. Going for the line. Marshall! Warriors going for the corner. Get the tickets booked for Old Trafford, Wigan. Wigan going back to the grand final.
Tyrone May stabs a little kick in, and Kieran will get his second of the game. And then bullets the pass out. Tom Davis! Davis in the corner. Sam Tompkins has taken the Catalan Dragons to Old Trafford, surely.
6 p.m. Saturday night, Old Trafford. It's Wigan Warriors versus the Catalan Dragons to build up to the grand final. I'm delighted to welcome to the studio Adrian Morley and Kev Brown. Gents, thanks for coming. Kev, I'll start with you. How excited are you?
As excited as you can be, I think. The games, the semi-finals, the season as a whole has been up and down. We've not really known who's going to win what game, and we still don't. I think there's such a fairy tale for Catalans. Wigan, probably the form team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a toss of a coin.
And we can say this because we haven't got a Paul Schoolthorpe or a Carl Amor in the studio. Let's be honest, the best 2 teams this season are playing each other at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and you've got to say the most consistent by quite a way. I think Saints started slowly and they've just never got that momentum that we expected after they won the World Club Challenge. But I think Catalan were a little bit unlucky not to win the league leaders. But what it does is it makes them go in as underdogs, and everyone's sort of writing them off. But they're not clear favourites in my eyes, Wigan. I think it's much, much closer than people expect.
Yeah, I agree with Brown. It's fitting that the top 2 teams of the Super League have made the grand final. It's been tough, but it's been a fantastic season. There's been so many different facets of this year. There's the relegation battle, the battle for the top 6, the battle for league leaders, and Catalans look like they had it at a canter, halfway through the year. But then Wigan come good. But I'm delighted Catalans made it and Wigan. So can't really pick a winner. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great atmosphere at Old Trafford, as it always is, and I can't wait.
It is our showpiece, and the RFL do it very, very well, don't they?
They do.
We've got a band beforehand, the fireworks, getting the military involved. It's a brilliant occasion.
They do, and since the inception of the grand final concept, no one really know which direction it'll take, but it has become the biggest night of the Rugby League calendar, and quite rightly so. And year on year, it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's just a celebration and an extravaganza of what's been a fantastic Super League season. And
Kev, I love watching it. I love just being there. What's it like playing in one?
Well, it's the dream. It is.
But the walkout's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, just everything. Driving and seeing the Theatre of Dreams, Old Trafford, and walking out there. It's what you work so hard for in the pre-season. It's what you try so hard for in the playoffs. But when you actually get there, it's a lot of times things are a little bit underwhelming. Well, that's even better than you dream. And like I said, the echo and the atmosphere at Old Trafford is replicated by nowhere else I've played. So very, very jealous of both sides this weekend.
Let's talk about the 2 semi-finals before we have a really good look at the final. 2 contrasting semi-finals as well. Catalans obviously 12-6, a bit of Sam Tompkins magic at the end.
Yeah, it wasn't a classic, in terms of fantastic tries,
but it was still great to watch.
It was brilliant. It was brutal, and I think, as far as preparation goes, I think Catalans will be more pleased with their game against Catalans than Wigan's, because Wigan had it a bit easy, but we'll talk about them. But that game was absolutely brutal, and it took the magic of a fantastic player, once in a generation player, Sam Tompkins, for him to still come up with the magic. He's been playing with a busted knee for 2 or 3 years, but to still have the brain, the rugby smarts to score not just a try, but just the position of it in the pitch, and what it meant to the team, and what it meant to the Catalan Dragons to go over. I was delighted for Sam. But I thought it was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it, and I think they deserve to get their Catalans the way they've played all year, and they played particularly well in that semi-final as well.
And it's not easy for Steve McNamara and his team, is it? Because obviously they do the most travelling.
Yeah, well,
every week.
A lot of clubs moan about going over to Catalans, and like you say, they do it every other week. So it's very difficult what they've got. I think Steve McNamara has done a terrific job. When he went in there, he was battling for survival with the Catalans in the £1 million game and the middle eight. So he's already won one trophy. He's been to the big dance once before. I sat with Steve last year at the grand final, and you could visibly see how frustrated he was. His team wasn't there, and I think his team are set up for a real good tilt in it. They'll not just be happy to be there now. I think they'll travel. A lot of fans will travel over, and it's everyone's favourite second team. So I think a few Saints tickets would have been bought, and Saints tops will be swapped for Catalan jerseys. So no, I think what Steve's done and what Catalan have done, you can't commend them enough, and I think they'll be very confident.
Just on that. The fact that they got there a couple of years ago, that will be fantastic preparation when you go into something new.
And they were unlucky 2 years ago. I mean, it was only 12-10.
Yeah, they could have got the win, but...
A couple of decisions could have gone the other way.
But for the experience, they'll go into it now knowing what to expect. They'll be a lot better prepared. So they're going to come over very confident. And I won't be surprised if there's a new name on the trophy.
I thought Sam Tompkins' interview after the game was fantastic. And he mentioned... But with Steve McNamara, when he signed him in 2018, he said, I'm signing you to win the grand final.
Yeah, well, and that'll be the fairy tale. I think sometimes the top tier of players, which Sam is, you look at Jamie Peacock, Moz, Kevin Sinfield, they normally have a real good ending. And I think the rugby league gods, they give him a good ending. Is that Sam's ending so far? But you wouldn't write it off, Sam being the orchestrating chief and do something special to get his Catalan side over the line again this weekend.
And of course, ironically, he's won it 3 times before with Wigan.
Yeah, well, he's a legend at Wigan, and it's very fitting that he's playing Wigan in his final ever game of rugby league, although it's for the Catalan Dragons. But yeah, I agree with Brown. If he doesn't get the victory on Saturday, what a fantastic way to end your career. Scoring the winning try to make the grand final, but. The rugby league gods, there could be something in the stars. It's all set up nicely on it.
Last time Wigan won it was 2018, and Sam Tompkins played that night.
And I played that night as well, and I could remember going into the game, and there was an emotional connection that night with Sean Wayne. It was his last game, and I think everyone always expects everyone to try the best. It's a final, and you do. But subconsciously, when you've got something that means so much more to you as a group, and it will do, not just for Sam, but there's Mitchell Pearce too, and there's a couple at Wigan, there's always a storyline. I just think Steve McNamara will be drawing on that this weekend, and Sam will be drawing on it, very similar to Sean Wayne was in 2018.
Good stuff. So 6 o'clock Saturday night, it is the Wigan Warriors versus the Catalan Dragons. If it was close on Friday night, it was an easy job for Wigan in the end on Saturday. I thought Wigan on Saturday were just superb. That is one of the best I've seen Wigan play for a long time.
Yeah.
We're talking years, I think.
No, I agree. They are the form team of Super League. Yeah. We knew that. But for such a big game and such a tough challenge, Hull KR are going very well. But just to blow them off the park, the first 20 minutes, the game was really over as a contest after 20 minutes. They did give a little bit of a fight back, but I just thought they were ruthless, relentless, and worthy winners. But to score 40 points in the semi-final, would you want a tougher competition? Would you want more evenly contested? I don't know. Matty Pete will say we'll take the win. We could have won by 60, but it was a fantastic win. Don't get me wrong, but I just thought the Catalan Dragons would be a lot.
So, do you think the Catalan Dragons are maybe more battle hardened?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Settle's another form team of Super League, and to get the win, but the way they did it, it was brutal. It was a game of atrocity, wasn't it? It was tough. But Wigan, even though they won and they scored some fantastic tries, it was a little bit easier. So I just think Catalan Dragons, a little bit battle hardened, but Wigan, they won't let that be an issue. They'll just talk about getting it right on the night, etc. But I thought they were fantastic. Wigan, I agree with you, Mark.
Agree or disagree with that?
No, I agree. I think sometimes you look at a game and there's always something to work on. With that Wigan game, it was a complete performance. I thought, there's been question marks over Harry Smith's kicking, especially his kicking off the boot.
He was fantastic.
And he got 7 out of 7 goal kicks. He's like you said, the kicking in field, he had it on an absolute string. So I think the combination of French and Harry Smith now, we always mention French and field, but I think a more crucial connection is Smith and French and how they've balanced each other. And like I say, it was almost the perfect performance, but have they peaked too soon? They're periodising the training to peak right now, but I agree. I think sometimes you need to be taken into deep water, and they haven't for a while. They've been blowing everyone away. And if Catalans, I think Saints were 10 from 10, and Wigan are the same going into this week as Catalans beat Saints last week. So they'll draw on that. If they can drag them into deep water and get to 60, 70 minutes, I think that'll be their game plan.
What about the 3 meetings this year? Are they irrelevant now? Obviously, Wigan 34-0 at Catalan. Catalans blew them away in the second half at Magic, 46-22. And then in March, Catalans won at Wigan. So it's 2-1 Catalan this year. Or is that now irrelevant?
Well, I think it was a big reason why Wigan did what they did in terms of changing Jay Field from half-back. Matt Whitley ruined him that day. And, Bevan French has gone to half. So they have been a product of making Wigan what they are today. So I don't think it's irrelevant. I think they'll look back on that. And Catalan definitely will say, look, when we've done X, Y and Z right, this has been the result. When we've not, this is how good Wigan can be and blow you away. I think the first 20 minutes is important this week over a number of years, purely because Wigan come out fast, they'll try and blow Catalans away. And if they can't do that, I think advantage goes to Catalan.
Yeah, you've obviously won 2 grand finals, Australian over here. Was it key? It was always to say it must start well?
Yeah, it must start well, and the coaches I played under, any big game, any big final, they say it's important not to play the game, not the occasion. It's very easy to get caught up in the media and all the razzmatazz before the game, but at the end of the day, it's a game of rugby league for 80 minutes, so it's tough because there's so much riding on it. You want to get everything right, but if they prepare well, they just got to leave everything on the pitch there. But just try not to look at your mates in the crowd and all that kind of thing, and just get it right, concentrate for 80 minutes and see where that takes you. But I agree with Brownie. I'm grand final week. I'm always jealous of the teams who are playing.
But that falls into the narrative of Catalans have been there a couple of years ago. They've got that out the way, haven't they? The novelty of looking for where your wives are sat and where your family and the occasion. They've done that now.
Well, it's been a while for Wigan now, isn't it? Because obviously Challenge Cup last year, 2020 was behind closed doors at Hull. 2018.
Yeah, so a lot of new players. So that novelty could be an issue for Wigan. It's obviously Matty Peate's first one. So there's a lot of newness about the going to Old Trafford for Wigan, which Catalans don't have. But then
you've got like Liam Farrell's won it 4 times,
Yeah, you've got Sean Loughlin in the coaching team. So I think
Ian Lenigan's final game. I mean, what a job he's done at Wigan.
Yeah, unbelievable chairman. Yeah. So
could that be the story?
Well, it could be. There's always a story, and I think whichever coach can, dip into that well enough and drag it out and use it to motivate is the genius of the day.
Right. Well, we had one grand final on Sunday. York Valkyrie came out on top in front of a record crowd as well. They beat Leeds. But Moz, I want you to watch this. I know you're a connoisseur of a big tackle. I want to get your opinion on this big hit coming up now by Rhian Marshall of York. Watch this.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Fantastic. That's what you pay to see, rugby league, other big hits. And I was never a fan of when the shoulder charge got abolished. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it.
Everyone else
believe it or not. But that's fantastic.
That's another show.
There was nothing wrong with that. It was legal, but fantastic. That's what our game's about. It's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport. So that was top draw. That.
And well done to York, league leaders, got beat by Leeds last year to come back and win it this year.
Yeah, and what Clint Goodchild's done, the owner of the York club, he's invested into the men's team and the women's team, and he's clearly passionate about it. And full credit to that club. They're doing really good things on and off the field, and I think you know, they should be commended how well as a unit they've done, not just in the men, not just in the women. They're all under the same umbrella and they're all pulling in the same direction.
Well, York were there last night at the Rugby League Awards dinner, and Lewis caught up with the winners.
Well, Lewis, congratulations, and the first ever Wheels of Steel winner. Have you kind of been able to kind of sum up what the emotions are yet?
Not really, it's still sinking in. Like I said earlier, I think it was just a privilege to be here at this awards night, you know, with the first time with the men's and the women's, and the obviously new Wheels of Steel award, and just to be nominated up against my obviously England teammates Seb, Joe and Josh. And I was convinced that, you know, one of them might grab this award, to be honest with you. So I weren't really prepared for it, so it's still sinking in. So yeah, absolutely amazing to be, you know, the first official winner of the Wheels of Steel award. It's amazing.
I mean, it hadn't even sunk in, you know, winning the grand final, so to come away with this award tonight, it's another high. You know, I'm over the moon. It hasn't really sunk in yet, but yeah, what an achievement, and I'm glad that I've received it.
It's credit to what you've achieved with York this season. I'm sure the way that last season ended, you'd have been probably wanting this year to start straight away. From day one, was there a sense of, we're going to get this right this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it were a long pre-season. As long, you know, I know this is a personal award, but you know, my teammates and, you know, everyone that's behind the coaching staff, the culture that we have at York, and the chairman that we have supporting us behind us, you know, this is for them. This is everything that we've put into it. You know, like you say, you know, it has been a thing that we've spoke about. You know, getting that monkey off us back after the grand final. So we've had a great season, and you know, it's one that we want to do one better next year and go for that treble.
Yeah, like you said, it's a massive honour, and you know, being there all night, looking at that list, you know, the amount of great people that have been there and won it before me. Yeah, it's starting to sink in now that, you know, your name's up against, you know, on the same list as those type of players, and yeah, just completely honoured at the moment.
Some achievement as well, considering you've played quite a few positions this season. You've fitted in wherever you've needed to, but you've performed at the highest level throughout.
Yeah, I think it's just the right attitude really, and having great people around me. As long as I keep turning up each week, willing to learn, you know, the same as everyone else in our squad. Everyone just wants to keep learning every week, improving bit by bit, and you know, we're lucky enough to have those people around us that can help us do those sort of things. So yeah, been in a few positions, but just lucky enough to have those people around me.
So we just heard from the Wheels of Steel winner, the Woman of Steel, and the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel, Bevan French. How good is Bevan French? And of course, we're going to see him Saturday as well.
Well, he's the best player in the league, and for more than one reason, really. I think
so you agree with that decision?
Completely, and it was really difficult. I think it was out of Welsby and French for me. I think Welsby's an unbelievable fullback, and he will get a Man of Steel. He's 22. Yeah. He will get another chance.
And Tom Johnson's had a great season.
Oh, he's been brilliant. He's been
top try scorer.
Yeah, he's been a revelation since he's gone there. But I do think them two are a little bit clear of everyone else in the competition. And for Bevan, I think he was the best winger in the competition when he played on the wing, and then he moved to fullback when Jay was injured. He was the best player in the competition at fullback. And he moved to standoff because Jay Field came back at 6, and it didn't suit his game. So the selfless player Bevan is, didn't mourn, went to 6, done a lot more defending than he would have been used to, and now I think he's playing better than he has in his previous 2 positions, and better than anyone else. I didn't realise he had the composure and the kicking game that he's producing now. I knew he had a run threat, I knew he had skill, but the composure and everything that he's putting into that team, along with Harry Smith. Now, for me, I think it's a great decision. Yeah, no, his box office, and he has got the X factor. He can do things other professionals can only dream of. You know, he's incredibly quick, his footwork, but it's just great to watch. And you know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you watch rugby league, when he gets the ball in his hands, you're excited, and you can't wait to see what he can do next. But absolutely agree with the result, and congratulations to all the winners. But yeah, Bevan is well deserved. Yeah, congratulations to all the winners. We had the Championship, League One. It was great to have it all back together. But special congratulations to Bevan French for Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel. Right, we're going to have a very special show on Friday, which will be from Old Trafford ahead of the grand final. So make sure you subscribe to The Sportsman.
You're watching the Sportsman Rugby League.
The home of Betfred Super League Online.
Tune in to Last Tackle every Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Couple of other big games to mention this weekend as well. We've got the wheelchair grand final on Sunday. That's the Leeds Rhinos versus the Wigan Warriors. And then we've got that huge game of the Championship, Toulouse versus London as well. So a couple of huge games in the wheelchair game and then from the Championship as well. And we had big news this week. Title sponsors Betfred have extended their sponsorship by a further 3 years.
Full house, an electric atmosphere. The Rhinos are the Super League champions in 2017. Manfredi, dominant Manfredi, wins the grand final for Wigan.
It is the London Broncos who will be in Super League.
St Helens, the Super League champions 2019.
The Leeds Rhinos, 2019 Betfred Women's Super League champions. It's Wellesby, a surreal season, and St Helens are champions once again.
St Helens are Challenge Cup winners.
4 in a row, they never thought it'd be done. The Saints have done it. Halifax Panthers become the Betfred Wheelchair Super League champions.
Burge is over. We're running out of words to describe how good this English performance is today. It's an 80th Wembley final. Lachlan Lamb is a league legend. Wow!
All aspects of the game covered. Betfred started in 2017 just with the Men's Super League. Then the owner, Fred, said he wanted to get involved in the women's and he wanted to get involved in the wheelchair as well. Look, great news for the game. It's got certainty.
It's got certainty and it's got good news. I think we're so easy and so quick to jump on the back of the sport as fans and pundits to say things aren't great, but what this shows, a record deal, Betfred, and what I really love about it is Betfred care. They actually care about the sport. They're not just putting in money to get something back. They actually really care about investing in something that they're passionate about because of the product on the field. So great news, and I'm really delighted that it continues.
No, look, we do. I'm looking forward as much to a wheelchair game on Sunday night, 5:30 Manchester. I am the grand final as well.
Yeah, and Lewis is the same, Fred's the same. So everyone who's coming out and advocates of the game, they're showing the game off. So it's really important that we have people of passion involved in the sport. And I think that's what our sport has. Everyone cares. It's like a family. And once people come and have a look, they get hooked. And I really do hope that more follow the lead and get involved and get on the roller coaster of rugby league.
Yeah. Good news for the game.
Oh, delighted. I think Betfred have been the best partners to the Super League and Rugby League in general, in the history, certainly of Super League anyway. And, I'll echo what Kev said. They do care. And, in my opinion, it's the best product we've got out there sport-wise. And I think Betfred realise that and they want to promote it and they want to be involved. And it's just great news. Yeah, great news.
Right, enough of that. Let's talk about the grand final again. Right then, where's it going to be won or lost, then, Kev?
Emotion. I think.
Can it get too much for you?
It can. It can. You often see tempers boiling over, and it wasn't too long ago there was a Wigan player whose tempers did get a little bit too boiled over, and Ben Flower got sent off, and St Helens, who were massive underdogs, ended up winning off the back of that. So lots can happen, but there's so many good players who can stand up. You could go across that full Wigan side, the back line, people like Liam Marshall, Abbas Miski. I think he's been the
what season
player.
He's had?
Well, what half season he's had. He's scored the top try scorer in probably 15 games. He's scored 5 tries, 3 tries regular. So any one of them players can set it up for Wigan. But you've got to... I look at Catalans and think, look, they're tough, they're resilient, they're a group, but they're led by Sam Tompkins. And I think Sam he's a big game player. Whenever I've played with him or played against him, he's stood up in the big games. This is going to be the biggest game of his career because it's his last one, and I think he'll put on a show.
And you've got others in that dressing room as well who've won it before. Mickey Loram's won it twice with Wigan. You've got Tom Davis as well. There's quite a lot of experience in that Catalan team.
And they've got so much quality in people like Tyrone May, Icavalu on the centres, Matt Whitley who's leaving, I think he's joining St Helens. So there's a lot of quality for different reasons why they'll play well. So yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the best grand finals we've ever seen, off the back of one of the best rugby league seasons we've ever seen. And I just hope it doesn't go down to a referee's call or a moment of madness like we've seen before, because it can draw out the worst in you as well as the best.
Right, I'll get your final thoughts in a minute and predictions, but let's just find out from a few people from last night's award ceremony what they think about the big game on Saturday.
I know it'd be a nice fairy tale ending for Tom Hopkins, but for me, yeah, I think it's a Wigan win. Wigan have looked really good, but I think I'll back Catalan on this occasion.
I want Catalans to win, but I think Wigan are going to be too strong, mate. I do. I think they're going to be too strong.
Going on the basis that Wigan, in terms of their group and their team, have young players on the start of a journey, mixed in with some experience, I think Wigan get it.
My head's telling me Wigan, my heart's telling me Catalan, so I'm going to go with my heart and I'm hoping for a Catalan win.
I'll go golden point, Wigan win.
I'm going to probably back Wigan in this one.
You know, Wigan, they're always big game, players, very, very resilient, and I think they might just have the edge on Catalan on Saturday.
I just think I can't help but think back to the Magic Weekend game where Catalan totally dominated Wigan, and I think Catalan Dragons get the job done this weekend.
Plenty of differing opinions ahead of this huge game on Saturday evening. Right then, Moz, come on then. No sitting on the fence.
No, like,
come on.
I think
I want you to tell me what kind of game we're going to have and who's going to come out on top.
Well, I think I agree with Kev. I think this could potentially be the best ever grand final on record. Let's hope so. But Wigan's defence is fantastic, so that they're going to be very, very strong. But Catalans, they've got the flair, they've got the X factor in Sam Tompkins, last ever game, all that. So I think Catalans, because they played there a couple of years, they've got the experience now. I think they've been the most consistent side of the year. I know they had a blip about 2 months ago where they lost 3 or 4 on the bounce, but I think they've been building towards this. I think they've had their eye on the grand final all season. I think they're just going to be put all their eggs in this basket. I think they're going to go for it, and I think Catalans will take it in a very tight one.
I think it all depends on the weather. I think the back line for Wigan...
What, you're suggesting Wigan weather? Rain?
I think if it's dry, I think Wigan win comfortably. I think if it's wet, I think the pack for Catalan dominate, and the kicking and the experience from Mitchell Pearce and Sam Tompkins lead them over the line.
I think the weather says between 12 and 2 it's going to shower, but then 6 o'clock it's going to be dry. So
when have you ever done so much research?
I had a look before the show, mate. But well, it's
he's giving me a bit of both there. Is it wet or dry? Then?
No, it's wet at the start of the day, and then it dries off.
It'll be wet.
The pitch will be wet, but it won't be raining.
It'll be wet wherever you are at Old Trafford on Saturday morning. Look, just before we finish, that's just a final word on these two coaches. Matty Pete has come in and done a brilliant job. I mean, for me, it's like the old Wigan now. And then Steve McNamara, you mentioned it earlier, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but he's really bought into Catalan, and he's now taking Catalan to their second grand final.
Yeah, and I think what both coaches have, Mark, is it's not just about the team on the field, it's about the community, buying into the culture. And Matty Pete's done that as well. He's been out into all the community clubs, his players are out into the schools, and they've brought that club back together. And you can clearly see that Steve McNamara has done the same in Catalan, but he's also transformed Neely runs to grand finalists.
Yeah, different stages of their coaching careers, aren't they? But very, very impressed with Matty Pete for a young coach. I think he's, every time he speaks, pre or post game, you just got to be, impressed with what he's saying, and does loads for the Wigan community. It was lovely to see the Wigan club all made a video for James Roby, all the players and the coaching staff, and I just thought shows such a class that, doesn't it? And then so that's what he's all about. But Steve McNamara, he has won the Challenge Cup final. He's been to a grand final. This would be fantastic for Steve. He has had an international coaching career, But I think, regardless of the result, I think they're both doing a fantastic job.
And talk about doing a fantastic job. What did you do last weekend?
A little bit of a swim.
Go on.
We swam the channel for Head for Change. Look, I absolutely love the sport, and I don't want anything from the sport. The game is brutal, and and that's what made me play rugby. And I want to change the thing. But if we can help the people who have suffered concussions and post-concussion symptoms, then that's great, and raise awareness. And that's what we did. We swam to the channel for that. It was very, very difficult, a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. When Dennis Betts asked me, would I swim to the channel? I didn't know how far it was. So to get it done, I don't ever want to see a wetsuit or a pair of goggles again.
How choppy was it?
We were actually quite lucky. It was sunny, and it was nice. It was choppy, and there was a couple of occasions that I thought there was a couple of lads we were going to have to go and help them out and bring them back and take them back to Dover. But everyone, real big, reason why we did it was the cause and to the next generation to make it safer. But for the lads who are suffering now to get the treatment that they need. So the cause was much more important than just saying I've swallowed a bit of water, I'm getting out. So everyone got through it, and thankfully so.
Right, final word then, fellas. You going for?
I think I'm going for Wigan because of Mozzie's his weather prediction. So Wigan by 8.
You're going for Catalan.
Catalans by 4.
I think we could even have Golden Point, couldn't we? It's going to be an absolute classic. So 6 o'clock Saturday night. It's the Wigan Warriors versus the Catalan Dragons in the Betfred Grand Final. Make sure you watch it. It could be an absolute classic. See you soon.